Today I'll be showing you everything new with the crafting rework, the Wolfgang fix and the Ancient Guardian update. Let's start with the new crafting system. There's this feature that lets you pin items to your main tab at the side, allowing you to craft whatever you want whenever you want. This is a really smart idea as it lets you, the player, decide what items you'll be crafting the most. The problem with this system is that it only has 9 slots. The game has so many things I could want to craft at any given moment and you're only giving me 9 slots. If there were more items I could add, then this feature would be very useful, but at the moment it's just kind of there. Other than that though, this is amazing. If you don't know where something is, you can just search it or favorite it so that the item will appear in a separate tab. If you made a mod that added some recipes to the game, then rest assured that all of them will still work. Some other small features include the ability to make the UI really small and the ability to open a specific crafting tab by clicking on a workstation. So if you click on the Ancient Pseudoscience station, you can open the Ruins tab. Very cool. In other news, Wolfgang has been fixed. He still doesn't have his speed back, but with all the other features Wolfgang got, it's honestly worth it. You don't have to stand around for a minute just to get mighty anymore. In fact, the weakest dumbbell lets Wolfgang become mighty in like 20 seconds. The other dumbbells are even faster than this. Going from 0 to 100 with the gold bell is just a bit weaker than the old gem bell. The new marble bell is like the old gem bell but even stronger. Oh, and did I mention that all these dumbbells are cheaper to craft and last longer? To regain mightiness, it takes you like 5 seconds. You barely have to stand still before returning to whatever you were doing. The gem bell has been nerfed as it now requires tool sight, but that makes sense since it has been buffed to the skies. This is how fast I got from 0 to 100 while using it. It's really quick, it almost doesn't feel like you did anything. To those that still despise the idea of standing still and doing nothing, this change is for you. Wolfgang now gains mightiness by chopping rocks and trees. This means that Wolfgang gets stronger by doing some of the monotonous tasks that you would normally be doing. He also chops trees quicker when mighty, so all the more reason to get stronger. If you don't like chopping trees or mining rocks, then luckily for you, Mightiness is gained by attacking. You can literally just fight a pig man and boom, you have muscles. This comes at the cost of an actual downside. If you get hit while playing Wolfgang, then you will lose some of your mightiness. In order to maximize damage, you need to kite enemies and not get hit. Kind of like the opposite of Wickford. You become stronger the more you attack an enemy, but if you get hit, you can lose a lot of that. If you're a person who never gets hit while playing this game, then this is really good for you, but if you're not, then don't expect to be mighty for too long while tanking. Now it's time for the best part of the update, the reworked Ancient Guardian. Previously you could just cheese him on a pillar because fighting him normally took too long. Now, you still use the pillar to kill him. It's just an actual mechanic now. If you ram the Guardian into one of the 4 pillars, he will get stunned and the rocks will fall out of the ceiling. You can get a good few hits on the Guardian while he is stunned before the fight continues. This is such an amazing change. The Ancient Guardian went from a slightly annoying boss to one of the best in the game. It feels like a real boss fight. You have to exploit this giant rook's weakness, otherwise you won't be able to beat him. He has a new second phase where nightmare fuel starts leaking out of the Guardian. The nightmare fuel turns into shadow tentacles which will block off certain areas of the arena. I was a bit worried that this would be an obnoxious mechanic, but it works surprisingly well. The best way to avoid the tentacles is to run off to another pillar, since the shadow tentacles spawn whenever the Guardian gets stunned. He also gets this attack where he jumps at the player to squash them. Yes, the Guardian now jumps at you to try and kill you. If he misses, then the Guardian will also get stunned, so that's pretty funny. The drops you get for killing the Guardian have also been reworked. I'm not sure how to explain the changes, so I'll just show them to you. Basically, the chest is filled with loot that is way better than what it used to be. It also seems to be more consistent, so instead of sometimes getting garbage and sometimes getting amazing stuff, you now mostly get good gear for killing the Guardian. On to the smaller changes. The Deerclops attack has been slightly changed, allowing you to kite him by running underneath his legs. It sounds stupid, but it's a real thing you can do now. He's also bugged to insta-kill the player though, so hopefully that gets fixed. Roads can now be disabled in the world settings. This sounds counterintuitive, but if you've ever tried building a cool structure in this game, then you know the pain of having a giant ugly road passing through everything you've just made. Speaking of world settings, every event in this game can now be enabled at once. Instead of only having one event enabled, you can now have all of them at the same time. Settings now have a description to them, and there is some new loading screen tips which can be turned off in the settings. That's all from this update. I know I haven't uploaded an actual video in over a month, but that's because the next one is taking a while to make. The next video will be uploaded on the